What if I told you that the following 9 key principles from Dr. Joe Dispenza allowed me to become financially free, to put more than $500,000 in my bank accounts, and allowed me to travel the world indefinitely? That's the power of the abundance framework I'm about to share with you. And if I had only missed out on one of these essential principles, I would have not been able to achieve financial freedom and to achieve the freedom to live my life the way I wanted to live. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to reveal the 9 key principles of the abundance framework and how to use them in a practical way so that your money-related desires materialize, why just changing the way you think and feel is not enough to change your reality, why changing your self-concept doesn't mean diddly squat for your bank account statement if you don't do this one thing. And yes, I was really excited to say diddly squat, so let's jump right into the first principle. The first principle is based on an initial step that is so incredibly important for every manifestor if they want to become abundant. Unfortunately, this is a step that so many people ignore. And at the beginning of my manifestation journey, it was so hard for me to feel myself into a new reality. I wanted to change my reality so bad, but I always kept repeating my old beliefs, old thoughts, and my old way of living. And for the longest time, I refused to address the elephant in the room. In Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza shares with us that when you think from your past memories, you can only create past experiences. That's exactly what blocked my abundance flow. I was trapped in past memories. I was reliving these memories over and over again. And if the following thoughts sound familiar to you, then you are trapped in the same vicious cycle. Why didn't I learn about manifesting sooner? Why? I wasted the past 10 years with hustling and sacrificing with nothing to show for. I could have been wealthy 5 years ago if I had only known that I create my reality. I wish I hadn't made this investment, bought this property, took this job, started this business. Yes, if you would have only known about manifesting, then you would have, but keep in mind that these thoughts, these attachments to your past, to your memories, stopping you from receiving the abundance you want to receive, and you then look like an alien from the movie Space Jam if you've ever watched it. So I don't know why the drawing turned out like this, but what I do know is that if you don't let go of past memories and the regret of not having known about manifesting, of not having been able to use the manifestation techniques I share with you in this video in the past, then you will only recreate the past over and over again. And Neville Goddard also talks about this in Feeling is the Secret. Do not waste one moment in regret, for to think feelingly of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. And that's what keeps most people trapped in their current reality. They are reliving the past over and over again, and they are not able to move on. But now you might be asking, how am I able to move on? Back in the year 2020, when I had my spiritual awakening, I had to accept that during this time I was bedridden and I had nerve damage. I had to accept that during this time I was broke and my money consciousness was low. But what you don't have to accept is the prognosis. There's a difference between accepting the diagnosis in this moment and between accepting the prognosis, because you can change your future. And it starts by you accepting the present moment and then forgiving yourself with love for what you have not known in the past, and to then, with a new love for life, create a new future. And whenever a limiting thought from the past pops up in my mind, I always follow the following practical steps. Step number 1, accept that the memory and the negative emotional charge is there. Don't fight it, because what you resist persists. Step number 2, let it go with love by saying, I am at peace with my past because it brought me to this moment in time where I can create my future. Without this experience, I would have never discovered my ability to create my reality. Thank you. Step number 3, let it go with love by saying, I love you, you have served me, it's time to let you go, I love you. And then take a deep breath and feel the difference and feel how you're now ready to create your abundant dream life. The next step of the abundance framework I'm about to share with you is so important that you cannot allow yourself to ignore it. And when I, for the first time, listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation, Reconditioning the Body to a New Mind, I struggled. I struggled to feel any of the emotions that Dr. Joe Dispenza invited me to feel. What would it feel like to have limitless energy? I don't know, I'm always tired. What is presence? Can you teach your body emotionally what it feels like to have all your energy and attention in the present moment? I don't know, I have the attention span of a goldfish. Neville Goddard says that feeling is the secret, even though feelings and emotions are not the same, they are interconnected. Emotions originate as sensations in our body. Feelings are the result of our thoughts. They are created mentally. So yes, your feelings and your emotions are incredibly powerful when it comes to your ability to manifest. That's why Dr. Joe Dispenza asks us in You're the Placebo if we can teach our body emotionally what it would feel like to live as if our prayers are already answered. And at the beginning of my manifestation journey, this seemed to be harder than I could have possibly imagined, but thankfully, the universe gave me guidance. My son, simply imagine how other people feel who are already abundant. Disassociate yourself from your desire and then come back to it again. And here's how that looks in a practical context. Action step 1, I began asking myself how the millionaires I saw checking in 5-star hotels and crawling out of their so uncomfortable looking sports cars must feel like. Action step number 2, I watched documentaries about wealthy people and I observed the way they smiled and the way they behaved, the way they walked and talked. Action step number 3, I even read books about wealth, abundance and the path to your first million and kept on asking myself, how would I feel like in this position? This disassociation process then allowed me to associate the right emotions to the potentials that I wanted to manifest, which then allowed me to fully immerse myself into the feelings and emotions. And this then allowed me to at some point reach an emotional state where I was no longer dependent on my physical reality changing, which meant I was no longer craving physical evidence of change in my physical reality, and I felt so abundant throughout the day, and that's when my reality could simply and easily shift towards more abundance. In Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza shares with us that if we are able to change our internal state, we no longer require any proof in our external world to then feel the emotions such as joy, gratitude, happiness, and that's when we can reach an emotional state where our manifestation can be easily drawn to us. That's when you hit the sweet spot, but you have to make a choice, and Dr. Joe Dispenza would say that you have to make this choice with such a clear intention, such a strong intention, that the hair on your neck are standing up. And this leads me directly to the next principle that allowed me to become a money manifesting machine. Before I'm going to share one of the biggest wake-up calls that Dr. Joe Dispenza gave me, we have to empower you. Think about the following two people. Person A manifests $100,000. Person B manifests $500,000. What is it that makes it possible for person B to manifest so much more money than person A, even though person A and person B use the same affirmations, the same manifestation routine, and meditate for the exact same time? It all has to do with one thing, and that's that person B proves to himself or herself how powerful they really are. I am powerful, I am powerful, I am powerful, yeah, brother. But in all seriousness, your intent matters. And no, I'm not just talking about your intention that you send out into the field with the visual image. I'm talking about how intensely you meditate. The intent behind every meditation, behind every affirmation that you speak to yourself. Are you fully immersed in the process, or are you just going half in and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna meditate a little bit, I'm gonna repeat my affirmations? Or are you fully committed to change? Because in Becoming Supernatural, Dr. Joe Dispenza wants us to make a choice by saying the following words. When you choose to prove to yourself how powerful you really are, you have no idea who you will be helping in the future. So I don't want you to meditate because I told you that it's a good idea to meditate. I want you to meditate because you really want to change in order to change your reality. I also don't want you to get up after 5 minutes because your left butt cheek is a little bit uncomfortable, because then you're not fully committed. I also don't want you to just mindlessly repeat your affirmations, because it's all about you feeling yourself into the state. How bad do you want your new life? That's how you have to go into every meditation. Use every manifestation technique. Repeat every affirmation. Do it with intent. And the intention to prove to yourself how powerful you are makes it impossible for you to quit, makes it impossible for you to give up. You will stay committed on this journey. And then you will be person B in the same way as I became person B, even though I could have easily been person A. But instead I made a choice. I made a choice to fully immerse myself into the manifestation process. And I made the choice to go into every meditation, every affirmation, every moment of change with the intention to truly be powerful. And that's why I was able to change my reality in a powerful way, and you can do the same. And that's why I invite you to comment down below, I am a powerful creator. I am a powerful creator. But I made another choice, a choice that would forever change my life, a choice that allowed me to become financially free. And it is based on something that Dr. Joe Dispenza loves to scream into the microphone at one of his advanced retreats. And I've already been to 3 of his advanced retreats, so I've heard him scream it quite often. That's energy. It's energy. Feel it in your heart and your brain. I've not only been to 3 of his advanced retreats, but I've also been practicing with his meditations for 5 years, and every day I'm blessing my energy centers, aka my chakras, because I know how important the next principle is. But first, the universe wants to ask you an important question. Are you ready to take the concept of energy to the next level? In Becoming Supernatural, Dr. Joe Dispenza gives us the wake-up call that the only way for us to change our lives is to change our energy. And the only way for us to change our state of being is by changing the way we think and feel. But I decided to take this concept to the next level, because I truly believe that it goes beyond your feelings and beyond your thoughts. And that's why I now want to provide you with 5 practical exercises that you can use to work with your energy in order to manifest large sums of money. Technique 1. Use the power of your breath to move the energy in your body while you hold a clear intention of your wealthy future. Technique number 2, focus on your 3rd energy center in your solar plexus and ask it to guide you to more clarity on how you can manifest your abundant dream life. And this is something that we're going to do together in more detail in week number 4 of my 8-week Abundance Reality Shift coaching program. And if you want to find out more about it, you can click on the link in the description. And now let's continue with technique number 3. Activate the energy in your heart. Your heart is your center of creation, and by focusing your attention on it, and by then with an activated heart sending the intention of wealth and riches into the field, you manifest money with your energy. Now let's focus on technique number 4. Close your eyes and go into a deep meditation. Now allow yourself to feel the energy of wealth and abundance to flow through your body. Feel it flowing into your arms, into your legs, and just feel what this abundant energy feels like in your body. And now you're ready for the last technique, technique number 5. Work with the energy in your body through movement. This can either be through a calm walk during which you feel like a millionaire, or during an ecstatic dance during which you feel rich, wealthy, and abundant. So feel the energy of abundance in your body and you will send a signal out into the quantum field. Now, what if I told you that the average human being is thinking between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day, and that this is the reason why they are not wealthy and abundant? And yes, I speak from my own personal experience here, because at the beginning of my manifestation journey, my thoughts were anything but abundant and were not related to wealth and riches at all, until the universe said this to me. Why is he thinking that he's an idiot? He has to stop thinking that he's an idiot, because if he doesn't stop thinking he's an idiot, he will be an idiot, and then he will not be abundant. In You Are the Placebo, Dr. Joe Dispenza reminds us to choose our thoughts wisely because they are incredibly powerful. And in Evolve Your Brain, Dr. Joe Dispenza writes, conscious thoughts repeated often enough become unconscious thinking. And if you truly understand what I'm about to share with you now, you will never again let any thought go by unnoticed, because an affirmation is the same as a thought, and a thought is the same as an affirmation. It is the same. So what does this incredibly powerful realization that every thought is an affirmation and every affirmation is a thought truly mean? It means that if you unconsciously continue to think thoughts that are based in lack and scarcity, you are always, no matter if you're aware of it or not, reaffirming a state in which you're full of lack and scarcity, which means your physical reality reflects this internal state. But if instead you, through the power of affirmations, then install new thoughts in your mind, because every affirmation is a thought that you then consciously install in your mind, and they are all based on abundance, on wealth and freedom, that's when your reality can shift. And that's why it's so important to break the cycle of thinking thoughts that are not in alignment with your manifestation. Because according to scientific research, we don't just think between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts every day, but 75% of them are negative and 95% of them are repetitive, which means you're thinking the same thoughts over and over again without even being consciously aware of them, and they then, from this unconscious state, create your reality that you don't want over and over again. And that's why it's so important to break this cycle. And I now want to share 3 practical techniques with you that have helped me to break this cycle and that you can use from this moment onwards. Technique 1. Make a list of 5 to 10 thoughts that are in alignment with your abundant dreams and write them on a piece of paper or in your phone. These thoughts could be, I am worthy of wealth, or I deserve success, and now repeat them and feel yourself into them each morning and evening. Now let's have a look at technique number 2. Choose one guiding affirmation that you repeat as a mental diet over and over again throughout the day. This could be your core intention. For example, I am a millionaire, or I make $10,000 a month. And now you're ready for technique number 3. Write the thoughts that are in alignment with your abundant self and abundant life on post-it notes and hang them where you can see them. because it's time to end the struggle and to finally let the abundance that you want flow to you. And that's also what Neville Goddard describes with the following words in Mental Diets. A man's mental conversations attracts his life. As long as there is no change in his inner talking, the personal history of the man remains the same. To attempt to change the world before we change our inner talking is to struggle against the very nature of things. Man can go round and round in the same circle of disappointments and misfortunes, not seeing them as caused by his own negative inner talking, but as caused by others. And yes, you can change your thoughts and your thought patterns, because remember the following words from Dr. Joe Dispenza that he shared with us in Evolve Your Brain. Conscious thoughts repeated often enough become unconscious thinking. Who is stopping you from repeating the right thoughts today? Nobody is stopping you. Without the next key principle I'm about to share with you, you will never be able to fully enjoy your life, and you will not be able to manifest the amount of money that you truly want to manifest. And it all has to do with your coworker. Please allow me to explain. It's not a secret that our stress response in our modern world is completely overwhelmed. Because back in the good old days when we were hunting with sticks and stones, there was the saber-toothed tiger. And yes, that is a saber-toothed tiger. Which means when the saber-toothed tiger was chasing us, there was a short-term stress response, and afterwards we were then eating again once we were safe. But this person, which is Dave, so please excuse me in case your name is Dave, that's your coworker. And Dave is not only constantly complaining to you when you are at work, Dave is also sending you emails when you're at home and WhatsApp messages when you're at home. And then you think about Dave all day long and you just want to strangle him because the stress is just so overwhelming. And then you're stuck in traffic and people are honking and you go like, oh God, I can't take it anymore. And now you might be asking yourself, but Sebastian, what does that have to do with me being able to manifest abundance? And from my own experience, I can tell you it has everything to do with that. I know this from my own experience because before my spiritual awakening, this was my natural state of being. In fact, I experienced so much stress in my life and I was putting myself under so much stress that I ended up on an operating table at a hospital, even though the universe was telling me for years, dude, you have to chillax. Chill the F out. In Becoming Supernatural, Dr. Joe Dispenza reminds us that if we can't get beyond our stresses, problems and pains, we can create a new future in which these states don't exist. This should answer the question, is it really important for me to deal better with my stress and to de-stress my life if I want to become abundant? Yes, 100%, because when you are stressed, you are constantly in fight or flight. If you are in a state of stress, you won't be able to activate your heart because your heart will shut off. And if you can't activate your heart, then you can't activate your center of creation from which you create your reality. You also won't be able to receive guidance by working with the energy in your body, by blessing your energy centers, because your body needs the energy that is available for the fight or flight response. The hormones of stress cloud your mind with negativity. Instead of feeling abundance, you feel separation. Instead of feeling a love for life, you feel anger, and that's not the energy to create from. In fact, when you're in the stress response, you won't even be able to focus for 5 minutes in a meditation. And I know what I'm talking about, because that was the case for me in the beginning. And that's why you have to de-stress your life if you want to manifest the life of your dreams. But if you continue to live your life in the hormones of stress, you will only create more stress and misery in your physical reality. And that's why I now want to share practical tips and strategies with you that have helped me to de-stress my life and to become a magnet for money. Number 1, Only feed your mind with positive thoughts and positive content. Number 2, take long walks that can lead to incredible signs and synchronicities and direct downloads because you are receptive in this state. Number 3, set an intention in the morning to speak your affirmations or to do a quick 5-minute meditation in case you experience stress during the day. Number 4, remind yourself every day that it's your effort in the spiritual realm that creates your wealth and not your effort in the physical realm. Before my spiritual awakening in the year 2020, I was working 10 to 12 hours every day and I was barely making $1,000 a month. Nowadays, I'm working a relaxed 4 to 5 hours a day and I'm making more than $20,000 a month. So your effort in the spiritual realm is way more powerful than your effort in the physical realm. And I only achieved this financial transformation because I did what Dr. Joe Dispenza described in becoming supernatural. And by de-stressing my life, I then developed supernatural powers as a manifestor. Now, what I'm about to share with you now is so uncomfortable for most people that they won't take this absolutely necessary step that would lead them directly to their abundant dream life. There was a time when I believed that feeling the emotions of abundance, that by repeating my affirmations, that by meditating, that this was all I needed to do and all I had to change. It wasn't until I looked into the mirror that I realized something very important. I'm still the same person. I haven't changed at all. And that's why in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza shares this powerful truth with us that thinking and feeling differently is not enough to change. We have to be different. We have to become someone else. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is not the only one who talks about this phenomenon. Here's what Neville Goddard says: in your faith is your fortune. Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. And once I changed my conception of myself, once I became someone else, once I became the abundant version of me, that's when my reality shifted completely and I 2x'd and 3x'd and at some point even 10x'd and 20x'd my income. And this is something that we also do together in my 8-week one-on-one coaching program, the Abundance Reality Shift Coaching Program. And if you're ready to find out more about it, you can click on the link in the description or go to affirmationtomanifestation.com/abundance. And just because I immersed myself into this new self, I became the abundant version of me. That's the reason why my income continued to go up and why my net worth gets bigger and bigger. And here's exactly how I did it. Step number 1. Yes, I continued to think abundant thoughts and to feel abundant feelings, but that was just the beginning. Step number 2, I dressed in the same way as I imagined my abundant self would dress. Step number 3, I changed the way I walked because my abundant self walked with confidence, deliberately and relaxed. I successfully broke the habit of being my old self. I reinvented myself. I didn't just become abundant, I became abundance. So comment down below, I am ready to become abundance. I am ready to become abundance. But only if you do what I share with you now in regards to the next principle, will you be able to draw all the abundance you want to you after this internal shift. Because what if you dress like a successful, abundant person, but you walk in these new clothes without confidence, in a way where you signal to the universe that you are insecure, that you are unworthy, that you are not deserving? And what if you walk in a more strong and confident way, but you only walk in neighborhoods that are, well, how shall I say it, the opposite of abundance? If you do that, the universe will say, "Get out of the house, do something differently. What are you waiting for? Whoa." And yes, the universe loves this Nickelback song, so what are you waiting for? And in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza shares with us that There is an intense power within us when our behaviors match our intentions and when our actions are equal to our thoughts. And this is the next step of the becoming process, because it is easy to step into a new self-concept and to be somebody else when you're practicing in front of the mirror. But it's a completely different story to then act according to this new self in your physical reality. And that's why I invite you to ask yourself the following questions. Are there certain actions that your abundant self would take that your in lack-based and in scarcity-based self did not take? For me, for example, I made the decision that my abundant self would no longer eat junk food, that my abundant self would live a healthy life, that my abundant self would go to the gym and do yoga. For you it might be something different, but ask yourself, when it comes to you stepping into that new self, what kind of actions would you as the abundant self do every day, and what actions would you no longer do? The second question I want to ask you is the following one. Are there certain people that make you feel abundant when you're spending time with them? You are ready for them. You are ready to draw more abundant people into your life, no matter if that's by going to networking events, going to meetups, or simply spending more time with people that you already know who are abundant. You can learn from them, you can get inspired by them, and they can energetically bring you to a higher level of abundance. I know that from my own experience. And the third question I want to ask you is, are there certain environments that make you feel more abundant than the environments that you usually spend your time in? So could you, for example, take your walk in a more affluent area of your city? Could you go to a more fancy restaurant, even though you might in the beginning only be able to afford the French fries or the potatoes or whatever it might be? But by you immersing yourself into abundant environments, you get comfortable and confident in these abundant environments. And the universe cannot give you the abundance that you want when you are not comfortable in environments that are a vibrational match to the abundance that you desire. And now there's only one principle left, and this principle has to do with something in your body that you might have ignored for the last 10 lifetimes. In your past life you were a potato and somebody made mashed potatoes out of you. Oh, it was a tragedy. Do you know what's also a tragedy? That so many people try to manifest money by listening to their brain instead of listening to their heart. And even Dr. Joe Dispenza at one of the 3 advanced retreats I went to said that the brain might think it knows, but the heart really knows. And this is something that, well, I can tell you from my own experience, because at the beginning of my spiritual awakening, I had such severe nerve damage that I could barely walk, and whenever I put my boxer shorts on, I was screaming in pain. And every doctor I had spoken to told me that it's impossible that I will fully recover from this and that the nerve damage will be fully healed. And during this time, I did brain and heart coherence all the time. I was just immersing myself into brain and heart coherence, and that's when I received direct downloads from the universe, directly from the field. This one time I received the name of an amino acid, which then helped me on my healing journey. Then I met somebody who I hadn't thought of for decades, who was also able to help me a little bit. And all of this came to me in a deep meditation. And this continued with business ideas, product ideas, and incredible opportunities for more and more abundance. And in Becoming Supernatural, Dr. Joe Dispenza actually mentions that our brain thinks, but our heart knows. And here's how you do it. In the first step, when it comes to brain and heart coherence, you can simply close your eyes and breathe in a relaxed 5-second rhythm, where you breathe in 5 seconds and you breathe out 5 seconds. Then in the second step, you focus your awareness. You don't have to visualize it, but you focus your awareness on your heart, which is your center of creation. Then in the third step, you are focusing on the energy in your brain, in your head, and you do that by activating the left side, right side, the back of your head, your forehead, the top of your head, and then you also activate these energy centers there, which is energy center number 6, the pineal gland, number 7, the third eye, and number 8 on top of your head, the connection to the cosmos. And this is something that we actually do together in week number 4 of my Abundance Reality Shift coaching program. And of course, we can also work on it in an individual coaching session. And if you want to find out more about the individual coaching sessions with me, you can go to affirmationtomanifestation.com/coaching. And then in the 4th step, that's when you focus your awareness on your heart and your brain at the exact same time. And you will then let the energy flow up and down. And by then letting the energy flow up and down from your heart, which is energy center number 4, through your throat, which is energy center number 5, and then through this area here, which includes your pineal gland number 6, then the third eye number 7, and then the top of your head, a little bit above your head, the connection to the cosmos number 8. That's when the universe can send you all kinds of direct downloads, synchronicities and signs that lead you to your abundance. And now you know how Dr. Joe Dispenza turned me into a money manifesting machine. But what if I told you that I also used very specific meditations from Dr. Joe Dispenza to manifest $500,000? If you're ready to find out how I use these meditations and which meditations I used, I invite you to watch this video next.